Hi, welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, and this is the aftermath. Well, it was always going to be a hard task to go over to Bayern Munich and to get that result, possibly having to win, like scoring 3 goals. It was always going to be very difficult. They are the European champions. They are many people's best team in the world. They've shown it over the past couple of legs that they are a brilliant team, very hard to beat. And listen, we put up a great performance, a brave performance. We didn't lose the game. Drew 1-1. Remember, Bayern Munich have been dispatching of teams left, right and centre. At the weekend, they beat Wolfsburg, who are a good team, away from home 6-1. Last season, they beat Real Madrid, remember, 7-1. Listen, we didn't disgrace ourselves, and the game basically was lost on that first leg. And I just think to myself, if Ozil had scored that penalty, if we would have gone 11 against 11, and there was a fan that we interviewed yesterday, and he said, last 3 years we've done it where we've gone down to 10 men. We just cannot afford to do that in these type of games. And it just all sort of went against us. Players that are missing, like Theo Walcott and Aaron Ramsey. Ozil came off with a hamstring injury. So many injuries to key players. I just think we're not far away from teams like Bayern Munich. A couple of world-class players. I think I've said it on this show before. And we will definitely be able to compete with those teams. And that is a challenge, I think, for Arsene Wenger and the board. Do you want to win the Champions League? If you want to win the Champions League, you look at the teams around at the moment. Real Madrid, they've got Bale, they've got Ronaldo, Barcelona, Neymar and Messi, Ibrahimovic and co playing, Edison Cavani playing at PSG, and you saw last night, Bayern Munich with Müller on the bench, Tony Cruz able to come off the bench. If we want to win one of these tournaments, we're going to have to go again in the summer and bring in a couple of world-class players, because it's about time that we got to at least another semi-final or final in the Champions League. And I think we're only going to do that if we go big in the summer with our spending. We're going to have to bring in those couple of world-class players. But with what we had out there over the 2 legs, listen, I think we done very well. We was very unlucky in the first leg. And Arjen Robben, what is the matter with that guy? He was just diving all over the place yesterday. He's such a good player. That's the problem. He's such a good player. But it's almost as if diving is 25% of his game. That is an integral part of Arjen Robben's game. It's like, I'll run at players, and if they even touch me, I'm going over, and I'll win a free kick, or I'll be able to slow the game down. And if I get into the box, I'll win a penalty. And I really don't like seeing it. He's always been like that since Chelsea. He's a far better player than that, but he just resorts to diving left, right and centre. And to be honest, the referee last night was very weak. He fell for it every time. And it's just horrible to see from such a talented player. Let's get into your tweets. Costa AFC, he's straight up on Robben. He says, Robben should seriously be looked at by UEFA. He won Bayern those 2 legs by cheating. And he said, I want the double now. Lequibon Jabon says, great effort by the lads, but sadly, it's not enough versus Bayern. We'll win the North London derby for sure, though, he says. Luke Jury says, good display. We just need to win a trophy, and we need to have a good run in the Premier League. We may not win, but it's always positive if we try. Ali says, our bench showed how our squad isn't big enough to juggle 3 competitions. Let's focus on the league and FA Cup. I was thinking about this whole squad thing, and any squad, right, that's missing so many key players as Arsenal's been missing, would really struggle to compete in all competitions. If Ozil hamstring now, Ramsey, Walcott. That's three key players. If I went to Manchester City and I took out Yaya Toure, I took out Aguero and David Silva, they would struggle. So, the squad has actually coped, but I don't know. I don't think any squad can cope with losing all your key players. Ippo says, overall, we can be proud of the result. My hate of Robben, he says, is not explainable at the moment. And he said, let's smash the Spuds on Sunday. Tati Guna says, yesterday we revealed again which are the players who struggle most when we're playing the top sides. He said, no need to mention them. It's obvious. Mention them then. He says it's obvious. Ollie says, we can take nothing but confidence in the team, especially from the Ox, who was brilliant yesterday. He says Spurs will also be knackered because they've got to play in the Europa League. And that is true. Spurs have got to play in the Europa League. So, it's going to be tough for them. They've got a game against Benfica. That's going to be a very difficult game. So it's not just us coming off of the back of a hard game. And we can take confidence from our performance. We didn't get beaten at a place where every single team that goes there normally gets smashed. Mark Stern says, Munich, we battled hard and we didn't disgrace ourselves. He says, the North London derby, if we turn up, we'll destroy them against, and they're always, he said, he's always nervy against them. I'm always nervy against them, and I'm sure they're going to be nervous against us too. Walter says, I'm glad we are out. He said, and minus the injury to Ozil, we only have positives going into the Spuds clash. There's a few fans who said that they're glad we're out because they're saying that the squad can't cope now with the amount of injuries we've got. Let's just concentrate on the league and concentrate on the FA Cup. The league is not dead, by the way. A lot of people are writing the league off. If we beat Spurs, beat Chelsea, beat Manchester City, or even take 7 points from them 3 games, we're right back in it. Let's go there to win these games. Listen, is Chelsea better than Bayern Munich? Manchester City better than Bayern Munich? Is Tottenham better than Bayern Munich? What are we scared of? Let's go out there and try and get as many points in the bag and get this league thing back on track. Bloke in Brooklyn says, Koscielny, mad dash up the field in the first leg cost us more than the red card. He said, Bayern got the second goal because Koscielny couldn't get back. I think it was more down to Jack Wilshere's free kick. It was so poor. I mean, we had to throw we're playing at home. We had to throw some people forward. We hardly had a chance to try and get a goal. We had to throw some people forward. We had a set piece. If we would have scored from that 1-1, I mean, we wouldn't have been out probably now. That game would have went to extra time last night. So it's small margins, but I think it's very hard to blame Koscielny. I think it was more the really poor set piece by Jack Wilshere. Listen, 10 men, you're always in trouble. Dick Patel says, great performance against Bayern yesterday. I knew he was going to go and I knew he was going to struggle, but we gave our best. But he says, Spurs, watch out. And that's the next big game. And as I just said, why are we worrying about these games? They're going to be hard games. North London derby's always tough, right? But we can win these games. We haven't beaten Chelsea for ages. Let's go and do that. Let's go and prove a lot of the people that are doubting us wrong. This is how you become champions. This is the mentality you've got to show to become champions. Don't just write it off and say FA Cup. No, we're still in the league. Let's try and see. Let's fight till the end. We've been fighting. Arsene Wenger said it the other day. We've been fighting since August to try and win it. Why are we going to relinquish it now? Everybody said March was going to be hard. We've got off to a decent start in March. We've beaten Everton, draw against Bayern Munich, take it as that, even though we're out. Let's be positive going into that game against Spurs. Let's get another run going, and who knows what can happen. Don't forget to check out our shop. Podolski, what a goal he scored last night. That's why I'm wearing my Podolski t-shirt today, representing. And want to say a big word to our sports options, sportsoptions.com. Check them out. If you're ever, there's not going to be no more trips at the moment abroad for Arsenal this season because we're out of the Champions League. But if you're ever travelling to Champions League games, when we get into, hopefully, next season, check out Sports Options. They're brilliant. They fly you over there, they transport you around. They were absolutely brilliant to us. I want to thank Miles and all the guys at Sports Options for helping us out with the travel to go over to Munich. And all the fans who were in Munich were absolutely incredible. Check out some of the videos of the day in Munich. I mean, I still can't get my head around how so many of those fans made it to the game. When I saw them drinking those beers from early or during the day, I was convinced that half of them weren't going to make it. And also, I've got to have a word for the Germans as well. Listen, the Germans, we've been there twice this season. Dortmund, Bayern Munich, policing, brilliant. The police, they're there. Don't get me wrong, if you mess about, they're there. But they stand back and they make fans enjoy themselves. They don't overbear. They're excellent. The organisation at the stadiums in Germany, brilliant. The stadiums itself, I mean, the Allianz Arena, if you ever get a chance to go to that stadium, possibly the best stadium I've ever been to. I think it's just about got the edge, I think, on the Emirates. I think it's definitely better than Wembley as well. Great stadium, and I had a great time out there in Munich. Thanks for watching The Aftermath. Listen, it's all about the North London derby on Sunday. We got to go out there. We got to win that. It's going to be big. Stand up if you hate Tottenham. Stand up if you hate Tottenham.